Colin Cowherd is back on the Caitlin Clark train, and he's back calling out the haters.
What Colin Cowherd said about Caitlin Clark didn't just spark another sports debate. It completely changed the conversation around the Indiana Fever overnight. Because for the first time, one of the biggest voices in American sports media openly questioned whether Stephanie White is actually the right coach for the most important player the WNBA has seen in decades. And the reason this moment exploded across basketball media is simple. Millions of fans have been feeling this frustration for weeks, but nobody with a national platform was willing to say it out loud until now.
Let's listen to him, man.
So Caitlin Clark, third season in the WNBA, has already set the record. She had another game in which she had at least 20 points and 10 assists. And I have been saying when she broke into the league, people said her comp is Steph Curry. Now, I think stylistically, the way she plays her game has got some Steph Curry. I think, though, in terms of an iconic player, she's more Michael Jordan.
To understand why Cowherd's comments hit so hard, you have to understand what actually happened during that Fever game. For most of the night, Caitlin Clark looked trapped inside an offense that never fully unlocked her strengths. Washington pressured her aggressively, forced difficult shots, and disrupted Indiana's spacing. Through 3 quarters, Clark looked visibly frustrated as the offense stalled repeatedly in key possessions. Then everything changed in the 4th quarter.
Colin Cowherd went on record and stated, she is not the coach for CC, bruh. Now listen to NBC reporters during the game, y'all. Listen to this right here.
Tonight, Caitlin Clark has been responsible for 38 of Indiana's 77 points.
That final quarter felt like the exact reason the WNBA has become obsessed with Caitlin Clark in the first place. Every possession suddenly carried energy. Every shot attempt felt dangerous. Clark started pulling from deep with confidence, attacking defenders before the double teams arrived, and creating the kind of offensive chaos that completely shifts momentum inside an arena. In just minutes, Indiana erased what looked like a guaranteed loss. The crowd came alive. Social media exploded in real time, and for a brief stretch, Clark completely controlled the emotional pulse of the game. Even though Indiana eventually lost in overtime, the comeback itself became the biggest storyline because it reminded everyone how quickly Clark can take over a game at the professional level.
Calm down, everybody, and definitely don't read the comments. But whatever the case may be, Caitlin Clark needs her Phil Jackson. And as of right now, the closest thing to Caitlin Clark, Phil Jackson, is Lisa Bluder. And the Indiana Fever need to figure out a way to get that young lady. I'm going to call her a young lady.
What frustrated fans wasn't simply the loss. It was what happened immediately afterward. Reporters specifically asked Stephanie White about Clark's 4th quarter explosion, and many viewers expected a direct acknowledgement of the player who had just carried the offense back into the game. Instead, White shifted the focus toward broader team execution and collective resilience. Technically, there was nothing wrong with her answer. Coaches often protect locker room chemistry by emphasizing the group, but in this situation, fans interpreted the response very differently. They saw it as another example of Clark's impact being minimized at the exact moment the basketball world was focused entirely on her performance.
Yes. And I've always felt her game is Steph. I think she has a chance to be Jordan-esque, which is multiple championships if she can get the right coach and the right running mate. And I think she has that player.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that slight at Stephanie White? He says she has the right player, but she don't got the right coach. Caitlin Clark need her.
Cowherd's Michael Jordan comparison immediately became one of the most discussed moments from the segment. Not because he claimed Clark and Jordan are identical players, but because he was talking about organizational vision. His argument was that transcendent athletes eventually need coaches willing to fully embrace what makes them special. The implication was clear. Clark is at her best when the offense flows naturally through her decision-making, pace, creativity, and deep shooting range. When Indiana plays fast and aggressively, the entire energy of the team changes. When the offense becomes slower and overly structured, Clark's influence can disappear for long stretches.
4. So Caitlin comes into the league, rookie sensation, year 2. Last year she's hurt. Year 3, okay, her stats are great again. When is she going to start winning at the next level? She has not won a playoff series yet. And so my take is she has her Pippen, Kelsey Mitchell.
What makes the situation even more fascinating is how quickly fan expectations have intensified around the Fever. Last season, Caitlin Clark transformed Indiana into one of the biggest attractions in basketball. Ticket demand surged. National television attention exploded. Every game suddenly carried enormous visibility. So when fans now see offensive inconsistency, confusing rotations, or late game struggles, reactions become amplified immediately. Fair or unfair, that is the pressure that comes with coaching the most talked about player in the league. The sideline footage only added more fuel to the debate. Cameras appear to capture an emotional exchange between Clark and members of the coaching staff during a tense moment in the game. Competitive athletes argue all the time, especially during close contests, but because Clark's relationship with the coaching philosophy is already under intense public scrutiny, every visible interaction instantly becomes a national conversation online. That's the reality of being the face of a rapidly growing league. If Indiana wants to quiet this controversy, the solution probably starts with clarity and consistency. Fans want to understand the vision. They want to see a system that maximizes Clark's strengths while still creating balance throughout the roster. That means cleaner offensive spacing, clearer late-game identity, and better communication from the coaching staff about rotational decisions that continue to confuse the fan base. Right now, too many conversations surrounding the Fever are happening away from the actual basketball, and that is never a healthy sign for a team with championship expectations. Now the pressure becomes enormous heading into the next few games. Every timeout decision, every offensive adjustment, and every Caitlin Clark possession is going to be analyzed across sports media, YouTube, podcasts, and national television. That's how big this story has become. Because this debate is no longer just about wins and losses. It's about whether the Indiana Fever truly understand how to build around one of the most influential players women